Retire with Integrity is on your radio, brought to you by Integrity Financial Planning with Brian Bowen, right here in the flesh. President and founder of Integrity Financial Planning. Want to get a hold of us, 866-2-PLAN-4, 866-TO-PLAN and the number 4. Ferris Bueller's Day Off turns 35 this week. It was one of the top grossing movies of 1986 and has since become a classic. Matthew Broderick says just about every day someone comes up to him and says, "Hey, Ferris, is this your day off?" That would get annoying after a while, I would think.
Yeah, no kidding.
They're like, come on, man. Fun fact, Ben Stein, who has a degree in economics, ad-libbed his entire lecture on the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act. You know what that act is?
Oh, yeah, exactly. It's a great act.
If I don't know, you're not going to tell me. So Columbia University has agreed to pay a multi-million-dollar settlement for allowing its retirement plan administrator to charge excessive fees. I've seen several similar stories. What's the deal with these retirement plan fees, Brian Bowen?
So retirement plan meaning a 401k, 403b, your employer, right?
Yeah.
When they're talking about this. Columbia University is paying $13 million to settle a lawsuit over excessive retirement plan fees.
Wow.
So the settlement also calls for Columbia to take competitive bids for running its 403b retirement plan, to use lower cost mutual fund shares, and to prohibit its record-keeping firm from using plan participants' information to sell other financial products. So a lot of these universities will give out the information to financial advisors so they can get in there and sell more products, right, and make more revenue.
Mm-hmm.
But they're just pointing out Columbia University. This happens all the time. I see stuff that blows me away. I mean, Yokohama Tire here in town, we were looking at their plan, and I think back then they had like 10 million. This is many years ago. And they had A share and B share mutual funds, and it was just
10 million what?
$10 million in their 401k plan. That include their pension.
Okay.
And you looked at we had a client that came in the office, and I'm like, these are A-share mutual funds? Are you kidding me? This is stuff you see at Edward Jones and someone's account that has $50,000 or $100,000, because the fees are extremely excessive, and the expense ratios were high. And I just go, what is going on here? And so you see that kind of stuff, and then eventually this happens. An attorney gets wind of it.
Yeah. Class
action lawsuit.
Does a little digging, yeah.
Right, and then they sue them. And so because they're not doing the right thing, you're a fiduciary. We have a 401k plan, right? My offerings to my employees are, here's some low-cost offerings. Vanguard, they're called passive mutual funds, right? The costs are 0.03, 0.05, very low cost.
Yeah.
On $1 million, you're paying nothing.
Yeah.
But you also can offer other type of mutual funds if somebody want to get into a more what's called an actively traded mutual fund, right? So there's a human managing the fund. A passive mutual fund is basically, it's an index fund, right? It's buying the S&P 500, the Dow Jones, the NASDAQ, right?
Yeah.
It's buying the Barclays Aggregate Bond Index. It's just an index. And just kind of watches the trend. That's why it's so cheap. But what they have found in studies over and over and over and over again, 80% of those index funds have outperformed the actively traded mutual funds that are 200 to 300% more expensive.
Yeah.
Did you hear me? 200 to 300% more expensive.
Wow.
So that's the funny thing. It's like you go to, if I bought a truck, right? We went down to go look at a truck. I know you drive a Tundra and you're like, Brian, I'm ready for the new Tundra.
Yeah.
And are you willing to pay, I don't know, what does a Tundra cost? 60? It's probably 60 grand for a fully loaded limited with all the goodies, right? So are you willing to pay $180,000 for the same truck? That's probably going to do a similar thing. And 80% of the time, it's actually not going to do as well.
See, that particular analogy really connected with me just now.
Who in their right mind is paying $180,000 for a truck?
Right.
No one is, but we're doing it in a retirement plan, and we're blind to it. And a lot of times it's because of the blind relationship. Like a gentleman came in, it was probably a few months ago, 3 or 4 months ago. He's like, I'm not paying any fees, because we said, we'll do a fee analysis for you. Yeah, my advisor, he's great. They don't have any fees. Well, who's he with? Wells Fargo. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Well, we'll see, right? Let's take a look. Let's look under the hood. I mean, it's just like when you call the mechanic, hey, I got this noise, He's like, just bring it in.
Yeah.
I don't know what's wrong.
Yeah.
So he comes
I'll
in.
diagnose it for you.
Well, right.
Yeah.
I mean, they laugh at you when you start making noises over the phone because like, I don't know, just bring the dumb car.
Oh, yeah, I know what that is.
Oh, yeah, it's got to be the transmission.
That's your mandibular strip, yeah.
Right. So the point is he brings his statements in. Lynn goes through all the first meeting. We go through the analysis in our investment team meeting, and we look at it. And there's like $25,000 in fees in his accounts to the guy that has no fees.
Yeah.
I don't have any.
I don't have any fees.
There's no fees in there.
Yeah.
And it's not that the fees were bad because they are doing a purpose, right? They are paying him so he can get advice, right? So but these are the problem with the financial fees inside a retirement plan is that they're not getting any advice. They don't get any advice. You've been through where the retirement plan and they go, oh, check the box for large cap stock. And you spend 5 minutes with you choosing what you should have in your 401k. But there's no real advice. Should you get a will or a trust? Should you transfer the deed of your properties to bypass probate? Should you, redo your insurances and get living benefits, better coverage for the same cost, right? What about tax planning? Should you be saving in the right places? Where are you saving? Should you sell this real estate and buy another piece of real estate to accelerate depreciation? I mean, there's so many different ways to make your dollars go, but they're paying sometimes 1%, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're not getting any advice. So, and that's the thing. People are like, oh, financial advisors are so expensive. But if you're not getting advice, you shouldn't really pay a lot. But we have people come in from Vanguard or they're paying, and they're like, oh, I'm going to have to pay the fees. Yeah, because we're actually going to do a lot of work. We calculated it. We had a client. He said, yeah, I don't know if I want to pay the fees anymore. And we went back, estimated how much time we'd spent in the first year with just him and his wife. And they have a business, too. But we literally have spent about 66 hours
Oh, my gosh.
of our time. We didn't realize because we don't track it on a daily basis.
A work week and a half.
Right.
A whole week and a half.
But that was
work
split out here, here, and here. 20 minutes here, hour here, 2 hour
And that's
meeting.
not just one person either.
No, it's two. It's a couple,
Yeah.
right? But I'm just saying.
No, I mean that's working on that account.
Oh, right. No, it's my whole team.
Right.
Our CPA's time.
Yeah.
Right. Our tax assistant that was helping file the tax returns
Yeah.
to doing tax planning for them, sitting down, talking about their estate plan, their will, getting their power of attorneys updated because they've been done in 30 years, right? Their business tax planning, all this stuff. I mean, it takes a lot of work. Really? You think they spend 66 hours with you at the 401k? No, and they can't. They actually can't. They're not really financial planners. They might be licensed as an investment advisor, but they can give you some suggestions. Hey, Brett, because your age, you should probably put 30% in a bond portfolio to help minimize the losses because you're kind of getting old. Well, I mean, I don't think you're getting old. But.
Thanks, buddy.
But they might say that because, they see, oh, hey, you're saying you want to retire in a few years. They're going to, hey, you better, scale down on the risk, right?
Yeah.
That's about it, which you can kind of get that in a Forbes article, I think, or, Money Magazine, right?
Yeah, right. Well, that's what Brian was talking about earlier was get a second opinion. It doesn't have to be Brian, but let's see what those fees are. Let's see those fees. Have somebody else look under your hood. That probably didn't come out very well, did it? I don't think you want to say look under your hood.
I used that
Just sounds
analogy
dirty.
earlier, so that's where you got it from.
So the second opinion service is something that Integrity Financial Planning offers, and if you're interested, you can call the number 866-2-PLAN-4, 866-TO-PLAN, and the number 4.